Well, if I don't get some of these other projects done, this is going to become my permanent workbench, but I actually kind of like it because it's got lots of room. But anyway, today's project is going to be making some pinfish traps. I've been watching quite a few videos out there. There's all different kinds. 4-leaf clover, Z-trap, the standard with just 2 ends, some with bait boxes, some without bait boxes, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it's a trap with a funnel. It's all you need, right? The fish swim around, they get in, they can't get out. So I'm just gonna kind of copy one of those. My son ordered online at Amazon's, but I think it was Amazon. It was like 59 bucks, you know, for just a standard rectangle pinfish trap. The little thing at Academy is $40, and it's only got 1 entrance and no bait box. So I figure I have all that extra wire left over from the patio screen thing. So I got plenty of trial and error. I measured mine out based on some fancy traps, Real Texas Outdoors makes, I think. He uses a little bit heavier gauge of wire and his traps look really good, but I won't spend the money on them right now since I have all this extra, and I can hopefully make one that works. So if it works, that's fine. And I don't have stainless steel hog rings and all that stuff, so I do have some clips that I was going to use when I made a turtle trap a few years ago for my mom's pond. I was going to try and catch some snapping turtles. Got a few small ones and some perch in there, and that's about all I got in that thing. Didn't leave it out there a long time either, but so I'm gonna just kind of reuse that stuff. It will rust in the salt water and it's gonna deteriorate, but I think it was a 50-foot roll, so I have 35 feet left of this wire. So I got plenty of trial and error, but that's what we're gonna do today. So I could change my dimensions to be like 18 by 12 for each side. I think the one I was looking at was 14 inches, or no, 9 inches tall and 14 inches wide by 24 inches long. So I could change that and just cut a piece at 24 inches. So that should give me that size, but I'm just gonna stick with that standard. So I'm gonna cut 48 inches over, and then I'm gonna cut 24 inch out. And then that'll give me that extra piece to deal with for the ends and the sides. So should be able to make it all out of one cut like that. But either way, I would just cut another strip. So maybe overthinking it, but I don't really want it that big either because, you know, the bigger it is, the more room it takes up in the boat. So I'm gonna just go with the standard one first and see how it goes. Not sure which side I went on. Better double check my measurements. It should be this way because that'd be 3 foot left over. Seem right, but we'll see how it works out once I get it bent into the shape. Alright, now I just got to get me a board to bend with that's a little bit more than 24 inches long. And actually this should work just fine. This was my stand for my, whatever it's called, belt sander. A little handheld belt sander. What did I say? 10? So 10 tall, so that'll be my first bend. Then 14, 10, 14. Should be right. 10. So it should be on this one. There. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Go up here. Get a board, that'd probably be better. 9, 10, 10. So there's my basic shape of the trap. It's actually going to be down like this, so it's going to be a little square. And then I just need the two V pieces here. 5, 6, yeah, I think 6 is plenty. That puts it to about right here. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do 14, 6, 6. Well, it's actually not gonna be 14 because it's gonna be whatever that is. I'll have to figure that out. That's the part I don't know yet. And now I need 2 at 21 by 10. So make sure, I think I counted them, but you know, just to make sure. Yeah, 21 by 10. So that's going to be the two funnels. So they'll need to be 10 inches tall, 21 inches long.
Actually, it should be 22 inches long. I didn't account for the 1-inch opening, and I wasn't quite able to go 3 inches over at the bottom.
Sides. And then for the bait box, I'm not really sure on this one. Since I'm using the thin wire, the 19 gauge or whatever, I may go ahead and make mine 10 inches just to give it some strength, but put the door on the bottom and maybe a little shelf so that it doesn't go all the way to the top. So you don't want the fish to be coming on this version anyway. You don't want them to be able to peck at it or get the little floaties and get it started out here. So you want the bait on the bottom. So I'll probably do that just to give it a little cone and some strength in here in the center so that it'll be 10 inches tall. And then I'll just put a little blocker in the bottom about halfway up. That way you can only put bait about halfway in. So I think I'm going to do that. So that'll be, let's do a 4-inch one. That seems to be pretty standard. 4, yeah, let's just do 4-inch cube, 10 inches tall. Double check, just like woodworking. Okay, that's extra. So, yep, this just needs bent at 4 by 4 by 4. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Bait box. So I just need to bend him. It's not even really a bend, but this is where your 1-inch by 3-inch opening is going to go. So you can leave it as kind of a cone, but I'm just going to kind of bend mine, that way I know where it's at. And now it's just a matter of centering everything up and putting the clips on. Well, these work pretty good. If you had 1-inch wire, they'd be fine. This is 1/2 inch, and these are either 3/8 or half. They're probably half because they're really hard to get in there. Kind of got to do it at an angle and get up in there. But they work. You know, they hold it tight and everything. But that's why the hog ring and the little pneumatic gun you see people using is a lot faster and a lot better. But you know, for 1 or 2 traps, it just takes you longer, a little bit tedious. If I had the 1-inch wire, like I said, I just had these on hand. I did order me one. I found one on Amazon. It says it comes with 2,500 stainless steel hog rings, and it's just a pair of pliers. I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be much easier because it just depends on how it goes in there. The pneumatic ones like have a little scissor like this, and they go like this, so it's easy to get on there if you watch the videos. But we'll see. If those pliers work, they might be a little easier to get in here and get them pinched, you know. But for this one trap, this first one, I'm going to just use this. I am going to try and make 2. So if those hog rings come in, I'll use it on the second one, and then I'll let you know how it goes. See, like this one, I can't get that one in there because the the way it was snipped at just a little bit of an angle where I cut it in the corner there. So it's a little harder to get this one in there. But once you do, then you can get it in there. And you got to get your little pliers here that grips the back side and then folds it around. And there you go. So it works, just slow. I don't think it's really necessary because I bet once I put those things on there and stiffen this up, I probably could just put the little box at the bottom. But like I said, I'm gonna just put a little door in here about a quarter of the way down to keep it from the top of the bait. And then when you put the bait in, it'll only go down to about right there like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I can't find the video. I'm missing a couple of videos about putting these in, so didn't notice it till I was editing. So I thought I'd come back out here because everything else is pretty easy. I mean, you know, you just make your box, snap it on the side where it seams. You make your bait box the same way, then you stick it in here and snap it around every so often so it can't fall out. But these end pieces is the ones that have to have a little bit more explanation. But really what I did was, like you saw in the picture, you just go down 6 inches and then you have a 1 inch, so 6 inches in the very center piece. So the 1 inch spans it, at least here in Texas, it's a 1x3. I think 1x3 is pretty standard, so that's my opening. So you got a 1 inch span here that's kind of flat, and then you got your diagonal that goes down, and then 3 inches. So I just cut those, you know, cut my little short, so it's a little bent in here and it's stretching. The hog rings would have made it, you know, it gives you a little bit more leeway, like I said. These, you got to be pretty much on the square. So with the hog ring, I could have just snapped 1, 2 there, and then wherever it fell, it would have been fine. But for these, they actually make it pretty sturdy, even with this real thin wire. So anyway, you just come over 3, put your first one, then you make your diagonal to your first inch mark, and then you put 1 there, and then I just put 1 there. So I got my 1 inch, and then the same thing back down here. I didn't do these in the center. I just did my corners first, then these 2, then I came over 3 and 3, and then I just kind of made it ever how it formed, and I could get 1 in there for that one. You know, and then the same thing on the other side. So might be a little easier if you do your corner, then 3 inches, then 1 inches, 1 inch, 3 inch over. That's how I did it. If I'd have cut it at 22, it probably would have been a little bit easier to bend. That's all I wanted to show you, make sure that you saw this. For this trap, 6 inches just looks right. So that gives you enough room between the bait boxes and whatever. So 3 inches, 6 inches high, 3 inches on your side, and then you got your little funnel type shape. So, all right, just gonna insert that in there and where it goes. I got my bungee stuff in, so for my doors here, I just bought some of this 1/8 inch bungee. I figure, you know, if it lasts a season, you can repair it next year. I got 100 feet of it for like $9, and it came with some hooks and some balls and some stuff. So, but anyway, I think if I just make a loop and pinch it with this thing, they'll last for quite a while. I'm not worried about the bungee so much because it is supposed to be marine grade something. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm just going to pull that loop through and pinch that down real good. And then there we go. There's the bait door. The dump door, I did put a little hook on it, so this will rust unless I get a plastic one eventually. But I just found that it'd be easier, and you can keep it or how tight you want to right there. I did make both of these on the bottom, so hopefully they won't come open anyway, but you need something so they don't slip when you're bringing the trap up. So anyway, all right, well, let me get this last one on here, and then hopefully I can get it to my son this weekend and he can try it out. If we don't get to go down there, I think it is another mow weekend, so we may have to go do the cemetery. It's already, with all the rain we've got and stuff, it's getting pretty tall, so I may have to just meet him somewhere and drop it off and say, hey, try this out, you know, and see, get him some bait or whatever. But we'll see. Hopefully I can get some video of that. And should actually work. I mean, it looks just like a store-bought one. I did mess up a little bit on, I was 1 square short on the bait box, and one side I was 1 square short. So it's like, you know, 14 by 13 and a half or something. So, but it should still work, and we'll get it tested out and see if you can get some bait fish in here. And like I always say, get outside, do something. You know, I had all this, so other than the string, the bungee cord stuff, this was a $9 trap pretty much, versus 50, and plus I get to say I built it. So that's part of the fun to me. You know, it's really kind of one of the reasons only one reason I do all this stuff out in the shop is just because I like doing it. Alrighty, well, there we go. Take your bungee cord off and get your bait in there, put your bait back down, and it's ready to drop in, just like that. As I always say, get outside, do something, have some fun, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.